27th meeting of the Historic District Commission to order. We'll first start with roll call. I'm Corey Parks. I serve as the chair. And I don't have, actually, sorry, pause. Is it fine? I guess will she serve as kind of the co-chair, being roll? Okay. Sorry for, I needed to confirm something. So now we'll continue with roll.
I am Jenny Davis, secretary.
Nate Johnson, Commissioner.
Jason Covington, Commissioner.
Marilyn Moitz, Commissioner.
Thank y'all. The minutes have been distributed. I would entertain a motion to accept those if there's no amendments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. We'll now move to our first item on the agenda for public hearing items for the Robinson Historic District, 1837 Robinson Avenue. Tara, if you'll take it away.
The first project tonight is a garage remodel in the Robinson Historic District. It is a 1927 colonial revival non-contributing structure. The applicant is proposing to remodel the western facade of an existing garage carport, and that is the western facade is the Mitchell Street facing facade by replacing existing garage doors with a new door and adding side window pane. 2 dormer windows will be added to the southern facade, so that's the interior facade. The 2020 survey describes the garage and primary structure as having both been built in 1927, with the carport noted as a later addition. The standards state that that one should retain and preserve wooden features that contribute to the overall historic character of a building and site. The wood siding on this accessory structure will not be altered or replaced other than the areas that are shown on the screen right now. Those are the dormer windows facing the interior southern setback, as well as the garage doors, which are showing deterioration. If additional windows or doors are necessary per the Robinson standards for a new use, install them on a rear or non-character defining facade of the building, but only if they do not compromise the architectural integrity of the building. As stated, the existing garage door is deteriorating. It is somewhat obscured by the carport addition. This is facing it, that's the garage doors. And then the previous picture was the view from Mitchell Street. And then where the windows are being added or being proposed to be added on the southern facade is not what staff found to be a character-defining facade. The conditions for consideration are that the applicant must obtain all applicable building permits and that lighting shall be inward, downward, and shrouded to stay within the bounds of the property.
Thank you very much. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this?
Hello, I'm Tom Kitts. This is Lorraine Dusso-Kitts.
Hi.
Thank you. And if you would just state your...
1837, Robinson,
You?
and we are the owners.
Any questions or thoughts around the conditions?
Not really. It's pretty straightforward what we're doing. And I will say this, we're putting a studio in there. Lorraine has been the oboe and bassoon instructor at UCA for 25 years, and she's thinking about retiring. So she says, I need a studio. So really, this is the purpose of why we're putting a studio in there.
Okay. Any questions for our applicants from the commission? Okay. Thank you all so much.
Welcome.
Anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Anyone to speak against? And if you'll just state your name and address for us, please.
Hi, I'm Alice Fulmer, and I live at 710 Mitchell Street. And on your agenda where it has, the north, east, south, the south where it says OC, OD, that is my residence. I sent some pictures to y'all earlier today. And the first part of it, as far as the western facade, the street side, you know, I recognize the need for them to replace those doors to something that's more functional, and I have no issue with that. I am against the windows on the southern side. That is the side that, you know, it faces my property. And while this is the back of their property line for their house, it's the side property line of mine. And, you know, I feel where the way it looks now fits, it ties in with the older homes in the area, the way that existing structure is on the southern side. And there are 2 existing windows that have been left out of the agenda submission, I noticed. On the western street side, there is a window on the left. And on the eastern side, there is a small window. And we'll assume that that was accidental, that they were left off both the floor plan and the pictures. I think having appropriate windows on the western side, in addition to having light-colored paint inside as well as lighting, will brighten the room sufficiently without the need for the southern ones. The agenda describes the southern windows as dormer windows, but I thought dormer windows were up on a roof, and these are on the side. And it also describes them as slider windows, so I'm assuming that they're going to open. Given the dimensions that they have posted on there, I think the bottom of the window will probably come about 5.5 feet, you know, which is about me. You know, he said that, you know, Lorraine, you know, wants to use this as a practice studio. It was my understanding also that she may teach music lessons out there. You know, and if that's the case, I don't feel that windows on my side would be appropriate, that, you know, it would need to be more maybe of a soundproofing type of thing. And, you know, if you come over and look in my carport, you know, this is very close to my carport where I sit. It's 13 feet and 7 inches from my carport. And I noted that in the email that I sent y'all. So it's, you know, it's just very near. That building is 21 inches from the property line and 13 feet 7 inches from my carport. So, you know, like I said, I have no issues with the western street side. It's the southern side that I'm against. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here to speak in opposition of the application? Okay. Seeing none, we'll bring it back into the commission for discussion. Thoughts on the application and the conditions? Okay.
I move that we accept their recommendations of the planning department.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. So if the applicant will just coordinate with Tara at the city to talk through anything that may be required on their end, then that way you can ensure that everything is buttoned up in the way that it's supposed to be.
So over the next couple days, I'll reach out with the certificate of appropriateness, and then once you have that, you can start pursuing any building permits that are necessary.
Thank you all. We'll now move to the Robinson Historic District, Agenda Item B, 1814 Robinson Avenue.
So I would like to make a note with this that the applicant reached out to me earlier today and stated that they would withdraw this application after reading the staff report. They stated that they did not find that their reasoning behind the brick staining met district standards. However, per the bylaws of the HDC, because we were not given 5 days advance notice, we will need to still have it open for public hearing. So I will give the report, but I just wanted that to be noted that.
So just clarification, Tara, so are they wanting to completely
Correct.
withdraw and not table, but
Yeah.
completely? Okay, thank you.
So the applicant had requested brick staining on a contributing structure at 1814 Robinson Avenue. They did not provide evidence of any sort of deterioration of the brick, which according to Department of Interior standards is necessary for any type of water repellent, which is what the brick staining is. And that concludes my staff report.
Thank you. Anyone here to speak in favor of this? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Okay. We'll bring it back into the commission then. So Tara, just point of clarification, do we need to take commission action?
No.
Okay.
Let me double check the bylaws real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know that we've had it where they're withdrawn and then we table, but
Right.
yeah. So for the folks in the audience or anyone who may
okay.
be watching, all right, never mind.
The request requires a motion to approve the withdrawal and requires a simple majority vote of those commissioners present.
Okay.
So, a motion to approve the withdrawal.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Jenny, did you get those? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. We'll now move to the second part of our agenda, which is public hearing items for the Old Conway Design Overlay District, which would be letter A, 1605 College Avenue.
The applicant is requesting to perform phased property maintenance. There are a lot of trees on the property that are either in a state of decay or have a growth pattern that may result in hazardous conditions. The applicant did provide a letter verifying that the 4 trees should be promptly removed due to significant decay and/or to protect the structural integrity of the house. So we have 2 trees along College Avenue that have decayed, and then there are 2 trees that are growing into the foundation of the residence. The applicant under this application would also like to request to remove an additional 3 trees, again, because of growth patterns or proximity to the residence or garage. And as I stated, it'll be phased just based upon as finances allow.
Thank you so much.
And so photographs were provided. The letter from a tree care professional was provided. And there is a sufficient amount of canopy trees on the property in order to meet district standards. So even upon removal of these trees, the project is not being proposed for conditions that would require replacement. So they would need to meet standards. There must be 5 trees along College Avenue and 4 along Center Street. And after tree removal, there will be 5 along College Avenue and 8 along Center Street. So proposed conditions are that the property owner shall maintain at least 1 canopy per every 30 feet of street frontage, and the stumps must be removed or ground to the surrounding surface level.
Oh, thank you. Is the applicant here to speak on behalf of this? And if you could just come to the microphone and state your name and address for us, please.
I'm Shirley McCone, and I live at 1605 College Avenue.
Any questions on the conditions that have been laid out?
I think I've tried to provide everything that they need.
Okay. And my assumption is, based off of the additional trees, have the 5 and 8, if I'm remembering the counts correctly, that are going to stay in place, have the viability of those been confirmed by
Right
that
now,
same
they're
professional?
good. They're
Okay.
good. It's really the 4 that I'm very concerned with at this
Yeah.
point, and then as money allows, then the other 3
others.
have to be
Okay.
taken. Some work needs to be done on those.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
So, any other questions?
Other questions from the commission? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone here to speak in favor of this application? anyone here to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll bring it back into the commission for discussion. Thoughts, comments, questions from the commission?
That house, and so I want it to stay around forever, forever.
Yeah.
So do what you got to do.
I move that we accept the recommendation of the planning commission.
Just to clarify, staff?
Oh, planning department, thank you.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. And so same thing, if you'll just coordinate with staff as necessary to make sure that everything is buttoned up in the way that it's supposed to be.
I'll reach out over the next couple days.
So that concludes, nope, we have one more public hearing item, which would be Old Conway Design Overlay District Ordinance Update regarding administrative review of fully compliant OCDOD, say that 3 times fast, applications discussion. Tara?
Yes, so this was brought up at the previous meeting. This is a proposal to amend the overlay ordinance. It is not an actual voting action item by the Historic District Commission. However, this is more of a consulting and getting feedback, as well as making sure that the public has an opportunity to provide input before we bring this before City Council, and which we would be planning to do next month at the next City Council meeting. After discussing this last month with the commissioners, we did make one adjustment. There had been concern about neighbors not getting notification for projects. And so the adjustment that was made that I think would be great to discuss is that all new construction of a primary residence would need to go before Historic District Commission, whether it's fully compliant or not. So the proposal is that fully compliant with the regulation applications would be reviewed administratively by staff. So that would be things like additional windows, porches, additions, and outbuildings. However, if something is going to be a new structure on site, compliant or not, it will still go before Historic District Commission and meet all the notification requirements.
So just for anyone that maybe wasn't attended, who did not attend our last meeting or maybe didn't watch it, so the motivation behind this is to streamline the process, still allowing for citizen oversight like the commission and then also neighbors that would be impacted or individuals that are concerned with the development. But it streamlines it in a way to allow for something that is by right would be allowable, could be handled at the staff level, making it easier for that applicant, but then also the staff as well. And this only applies to the Old Conway Design Overlay District. The Robinson Historic District would continue to function in the same way that it has. But again, just based on the reach of the Design Overlay District, this is hopefully going to allow for more straightforward and simplified process for likely non-controversial modifications within the district. So anything that is in conformance would be allowed. Anything that would need a variance or approval from the commission would still come before us in the same way that it does currently. Is that a fair overview, Tara?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
May I clarify this for the minutes? After discussion last month, all new structures of a primary residence in the Conway Design Overlay District would need to go before the HDC, whether fully compliant or not.
And I would change that to structure rather than residence, because this would also be for commercial development.
All new structures in. We'll just clarify that.
But not additions.
Correct.
So if it touches, it doesn't count. It doesn't automatically trigger to come to the commission.
Correct. So an addition would, if it's fully compliant, would be administrative.
Is there a concern there?
There's always the gray area of how big of an addition,
Yeah.
but y'all can figure that out and then say, it's too big. then you send it to us, right? I think that's-
So an addition would, some of the changes that were made in the ordinance were making things a lot more specific in order to help facilitate its administrative review. So if you were looking at scale, it needs to be based upon the average of 5 structures on the same block. So if something is out of that scale, it would need to come to Historic District Commission.
Other comments or questions for Tara? So quick clarification, Tara. So this would be discussed at the November 11th. Is that the right date? Because we have one tomorrow.
Yeah, it would not be the one tomorrow.
Yeah.
The November 25th is when it will be discussed.
Okay.
Just so I understand the process. So we do this all the time with projects that come in our office. And if we have something that we think, I mean, say it's a new building, it will automatically come to commission. So that's good. That was first thought. But if we have an addition to a home or an addition to an existing commercial structure, it would be your staff would review it first. And then if we're denied, talk me through that process and how the public is notified and how, like, what's the duration of submission, denial, and then reapplication, or when does it actually get resolved?
Sure. So if something was to come for administrative review, it can come at any time during the month. So that's something that helps, right, with efficiency. And then if staff was to determine that it is not fully compliant, or we would recommend that it be taken to Historic District Commission or denied. And then they would need to meet the deadline set on the calendar. And so that's about a 30-day turnaround. So then it would just go into the same process that we have right now.
So basically, someone comes, presents a project to you, assuming it is in full compliance, then they don't have what they do now, where it's like, you check all the boxes, but you still have to go through this process, and it's going to be at least 30 days from now for you to.
30 days from the application deadline.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions or comments? And just, again, clarifying, no action is needed from us. It's just from
Correct.
from
But
an
if there,
informational purpose.
if there are concerns, I would like to address those, or, things that we haven't thought of.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear that.
I feel like I know the answer to this, but have we done a stress test to kind of see recent projects, what it looks like?
So I just did I believe it was about over half of the projects over the last year would have still come to HDC.
Okay. But the other half would have been able to streamline
Yes,
their process,
that's
start
correct.
construction earlier.
Right.
Okay. Any other thoughts? So just a reminder for the folks in the audience or watching online, this will be discussed formally. This body is not taking any action regarding this proposed modification, but the city council will discuss it at the November 25th meeting. And is there any other additional business? Oh, some people are leaving us. So we'll have 2 new commissioners. Can you talk us through that process?
So we will, in November, we should know who is going to be joining the Historic District Commission, and it is something that goes through the mayor's office. And then they will start their term in January.
Very good. And so if anyone's interested, applications are open until October 31st. And so if you're here, you're in the area, you're passionate about the area, we strongly encourage you to apply. But with that, I would gladly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.